So you can clearly see only 2 wheels are spinning in four-wheel drive, 1 wheel up front here and 1 wheel at the back spinning. And there's another look at it. Yeah, 4-wheel drive right there. Welcome back, I'm Alex. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a happy new year. It's a little bit cold outside today, but I made a short saying that 4-wheel drive low does not add any traction to your truck. And well, there was some backlash on that video. Switching from 4-wheel drive high to 4-wheel drive low does not improve traction at all. Switching to 4-wheel drive low is a torque multiplier in the driveline. Yes, you get more torque to your wheels, which could lead to better wheel control, but in terms of traction, it does not provide any added traction to the truck. Traction is basically the interface between the tire and the ground, and we can add more traction to this truck by spinning more wheels or potentially adding weight to these tires, or even changing up the tread or the design of the tire to add traction. All of which 4-wheel drive low does not do. And yes, you heard me right, 4-wheel drive low does not spin more tires than 4-wheel drive low, and I will hopefully attempt to show that to you. So I brought the Power Wagon out. I figured we'd talk about 4-wheel drive mechanics, how it works, how 4-wheel drive low actually works, talk about maybe some limited slip differentials, potentially some lockers, because, well, you can't really see, she's a little bit salty, but this is a Power Wagon truck, so we do have a front as well as a rear locker. Because when I made that little clip, a lot of you guys did talk about some valid points as to potentially how 4-wheel drive low could bring some traction, and well, a couple of you guys just, I feel like, don't necessarily grasp how a traditional 4-wheel drive system works, and that's okay, because we're gonna dive into it today and hopefully straighten some things out for you. Before we jump to the second half of the video, this portion is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. One thing I've learned is that real change does not come from trying to reinvent yourself every January. Most of us fall off the old resolution train pretty quickly. The biggest difference for me was slowing down, understanding what really mattered, and working on small, consistent habits rather than quick fixes. And that's also how therapy works. It's not about getting instant answers. It's about having the space to better understand yourself, get fresh perspectives, as well as build something that's actually gonna last over time. And BetterHelp makes it easy to get started with therapy. You fill out a short questionnaire, they match you with a credentialed therapist, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. It's a simple way to make mental health and growth a real focus this year. So click the link in the description or head over to betterhelp.com/GettyGarage to get 10% off your first month of therapy, and thank you to BetterHelp. I've tied this old girl up to a tree, which is actually not the first time I've done that, but what I said is that 4-wheel drive low is simply a torque multiplier in the driveline, and yes, it will allow more torque to flow to your wheels and may give you better control of your wheels, but it does not actually add any traction. I'll show you my setup, I kind of already have, but right now we're in 4-wheel drive, and this transfer case is a true mechanical locking transfer case, and it will split power front and rear 50-50 no matter what until something breaks, which hopefully we don't do today. But what I've done is we have a traction board under this wheel and we have a traction board under the back left wheel. And what we should see, and what we've already seen, is that only 2 wheels will spin in 4-wheel drive high. Now, I'll show that to you guys again just so we're clear on that. So here we go, we got 1 front wheel spinning, and our other front wheel with all the traction is not spinning. And we'll come to our rear here. Once again, exactly what is happening. The tire with all the traction is getting no power. So when we put this truck in 4-wheel drive, all this transfer case's job is to split power 50-50. 50% going to the rear diff, 50% going to our front differential. What happens after that drive shaft goes into that differential has nothing to do with the transfer case. It has everything to do with your differential. So in 4-wheel drive, yes, all 4 wheels can receive power, but usually not all 4 wheels can actually drive at the same time, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. Why? Because torque takes the path of least resistance, and that wheel has all the traction, so it has more resistance. This wheel, which is on ice, has less resistance, so all of our torque comes through our drive shaft into our differential and out into this wheel, spinning this wheel, not the wheel with all of our traction. Now, the big question today is, if we put this truck in four-wheel drive low, are we gonna get more traction by more wheels spinning? Maybe 3 wheels will spin, maybe all 4 wheels will spin. That's what we're gonna find out. I think not, but it's a real world test. We'll see what happens. Well, the truck won't stay in drive in four-wheel drive low unless I'm in the cab. So we're gonna do one continuous shot just so you guys know I'm not lying. So we are in four-wheel drive low. We'll put her into drive. Here we go. And you guys should be able to see 2 wheels spinning, not all 4. Well, there you go. We didn't see any more wheels spin. We didn't see the front axle lock up. We didn't see more torque proportionally coming to the front axle. Why? Because a traditional changeover and transfer case like this truck has, it splits the power 50-50 in four-wheel drive high as well as four-wheel drive low. There really isn't any magic or mystic off-road power with four-wheel drive low. It is simply a torque multiplier, and what we did see is that our wheels actually spun quite a bit slower, and that's exactly what four-wheel drive low does. It allows more torque to be transferred to the wheels, thus we're gonna have a slower spinning wheel and potentially giving us more control of our wheel, which could allow us to access more of the traction that we already have. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. You know, it's not to say four-wheel drive low is not a good off-road tool. It certainly is a fantastic off-road tool, which is why a lot of people like to use it, but inherently it does not increase traction. And you guys can let me know what you think about that. So we've established that four-wheel drive low is not this mystical, magical off-road setting. It's just a torque multiplier in the driveline, which can be very advantageous, but it does not add traction. So how exactly could we add traction in the driveline on a truck like this? Well, that is where limited slip and locking differentials come into play. And one of the really cool things about this Power Wagon is our rear differential is actually both a locking diff as well as a limited slip. So right now it's unlocked, so we just have a limited slip. And we should see that the wheel on ice here, as well as the wheel with a little bit more traction on the snow, it shouldn't really matter. Both of these wheels should spin at the same speed because of that limited slip. This truck has a helical limited slip diff, and as you can see, when one wheel starts to slip, the internal helical gears create resistance, and it automatically sends more torque to the wheel with traction. So there's no clutches, no electronics, just a smooth mechanical torque transfer in this limited slip. So pretty straightforward, but as the name suggests, it is a limited slip diff, and when we put this wheel on a traction board, you can see what's going to happen is that the limited slip is not going to be able to send traction to both wheels or split torque to both wheels. And, well, I'll show you that right now. So right here we see the limitations of a helical limited slip with one wheel on ice and the other on a high traction surface. The diff needs some resistance for both wheels to spin. Because the wheel on the ice has almost zero load, the helical gears can't generate enough internal resistance to bias torque. So right now, unfortunately, the differential is behaving more like an open diff. You can see it actually tried to force torque and almost popped that traction board out. So a limited slip differential like the one in this truck can certainly help add traction to a driveline, but it does have its limitations like we just showed right here. Oftentimes when one wheel has a lot more traction than the other, we see what just happened. Only one wheel is going to get traction, but usually a limited slip in snow, in sand, in mud can add a lot more traction, and it is certainly a very, very valuable thing to have in an off-road truck like this one right here. A locking differential, which we will lock this diff up in just a second, what it does is it splits power between wheels 50-50 no matter what until you break something. So no matter what, if this differential is locked, 50% of our torque has to go to this wheel and 50% of the torque has to go to this wheel. It is the best way to add traction to a driveline because you know for sure both wheels are going to spin no matter what. So we're going to lock up, and what's actually kind of cool about this Power Wagon is you can lock the rear differential in two-wheel drive. So she locked in, we got our rear diff locked in two-wheel drive. You can even see on the screen there, our rear axle is locked there. So with the rear diff lock, both wheels have to turn at the exact same speed. Torque is split evenly 50-50, so the traction board is kicked out from underneath the left wheel, even though the right wheel is on the slipperier ice surface. So there you go, having a limited slip or ideally a locker on your four-wheel drive line is certainly one way to help add traction to your vehicle or your truck. And having a mechanical locking transfer case as well as a mechanical locking differential, it just guarantees the amount of traction that you're gonna get with your truck. In a perfect world like what this Power Wagon has, we'll have a mechanical locking transfer case, a mechanical locking rear differential, and a mechanical locking front differential to give us the maximum amount of traction that you can get. And in theory, with only a rear locking differential, we can only guarantee that 3 out of the 4 wheels will spin. But with a front and a rear locker, we can guarantee no matter what, until something mechanically breaks, that all 4 of these wheels will spin, and they'll spin at the exact same speed. Now, lastly, a lot of folks were saying that, well, actually, four-wheel drive low does technically give the ability on some of these modern trucks to gain traction, because when in four-wheel drive low, a lot of these trucks can then lock up their differential. And I guess I sort of agree with that, but technically, in terms of a pure mechanical sense, four-wheel drive low or the transfer case has nothing to do with what the differentials are doing. And yes, a lot of manufacturers only allow the differentials to lock up in four-wheel drive low. This Power Wagon is actually an example. I can only lock up my front differential in four-wheel drive low, but just because I'm in four-wheel drive low does not mean that this front differential is now locked. What I find a little unreasonable is, I believe Toyota, a lot of their trucks, they can't actually lock their rear differential or any differentials up unless you're in four-wheel drive low. Don't really understand that. You saw this truck here, I could actually lock the rear diff in two-wheel drive, which I don't know why you would do, but I can do it. Anyways, fellas, I could ramble on all day about four-wheel drive stuff. I quite enjoy it, but we do have some snow blowing in here, so we gotta wrap this up. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me that four-wheel drive low does not add traction to your vehicle, or do you think I'm just crazy? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys frickin' there. If you did like the video, don't forget to leave that thumbs up. And if you like stuff like this, do not forget to subscribe. Anyways, enough of me. We'll see you on the next frickin' video.